And if you don't know, now you do know, this is Gunz. This is the Gunz Show, broadcasting live, the greatest city in the world, the city that never, ever sleeps. Normally, I'm out of Madison Square Garden, but you can't go to the Garden right now. You can't go to too many places, but I wanted to make sure that when this all started happening, that the Gunz Show continued being able to talk to you, the listeners out there. I thought this is, during these times, or during any time, music is very important. And we've had some great guests in the past. And I reached out to my longtime friend. I don't get to talk to him as much these days, but I'm so stoked at all the success and the positive things that have been going on for him throughout the band's career and more. And he's on the show. We always have a blast. It's Josh Dunn, 21 Pilots, here on the Gunz Show. What's up, my man? How are you?
Hello. Dude, you were one of the first people that I ever did an interview with. We talked on the phone early, 10 years ago. And man, I don't normally talk in front of people, and I just remember being so nervous to talk to you on the phone.
Oh, really? How did we do
now?
Yeah, exactly. Now you're gotten a little bit better since then. But do you remember? I mean, because I was back then, I was just I was just a fan. You know what I mean? Just talking so psyched. Now I'm a fan still, but I put my words better together a little bit. Do you remember? I'm sure we did well. I'm sure we both crushed it.
Yeah, I want to go back and look that up. Jeez.
Yeah. Have you did you ever find yourself just kind of playing off of that, and we got plenty to get to, did you those first couple of years or whatnot, playing in front of shows and gradually getting bigger, and all of a sudden you're doing arenas and then of course festivals and more like that, did the butterflies ever go away, or do they still kind of come at you still?
Oh man, well, yeah, it's a crazy feeling playing a show, because you're responsible for the entertainment of, whether it's 10 people or 10,000 people. And that could be a lot of pressure. So you'd really have to just, and I guess I especially feel bad for, an artist it's just themselves up there. I at least got one other guy that I can kind of just be like, well, he's the guy that's entertaining. I'm just,
look at him, not me. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, there's definitely, it feels like a lot of pressure. But I chose the drums to kind of alleviate some of that from myself, because I just, like I said, I've never loved to be the center of attention and just be in front of a bunch of people, especially talking. That's something that hasn't really changed. Mm-hmm. I think that I've gotten a little bit more comfortable with it, but drumming, I've always felt really comfortable. And I remember when I kind of when I learned my first drum beat at the music store, it was Guitar Center or something. I had the headphones in on the electronic drum set, and as soon as I could get all my limbs to do something, I remember popping the headphones out and then plugging it into the amp, the speaker that they've got next to it. And I was like, sweet, I don't care if people hear now.
Yeah, I could do this. Yeah, sign me up. Yeah,
So that's kind of that's just been the one thing that I'm just like, man, I want people to see this. This is cool. I can play the drums, and that's an area where I don't mind kind of putting myself in front of people. But it is, I guess, to answer your question, it's still, yeah, that feeling of kind of, because you want to impress people, and you want to entertain people and get them excited, and the kind of, just anticipation and hoping that everything goes right, especially with electronics.
Yeah.
There's a lot that kind of goes through your mind before.
A lot of variables too, because you can only control something so much, or that's why you put yourself and surround yourself with a good crew and tech. Right. You know what I mean? Because there's so many variables that can possibly go terribly wrong. So you just got to,
And they've all gone wrong. There's just, I could recount stories for hours of just kind of technical failure or something that just wasn't right. And I think you just always deal with that. And I think that, and Tyler and I have talked about this, but I think that, growing and getting better as a performer is not necessarily eliminating those things going wrong, but just kind of adapting and changing how you respond to them.
Right.
And because back in the day, I would just get so frustrated when, you know, when something technically went wrong. And I think, but then everybody would be able to know. And then it's the whole room is tense. And I'll see bands do that now. And I'm like, something's wrong. I don't know what it is, but they're all reacting in a way that, you know, I think maybe in a couple of years they'll kind of learn how to just chill,
kind of work through it, or just adapt and just realize, you know, there's always tomorrow. Every show can't be 100%, but you can put 100% energy into it. You know, you control the things that you can control, you know, and kind of just make the best of it. You mentioned, we've had you on almost probably like a decade ago. I know it was pre-Vessel because I know it was like holding on to you, like the demo was like being emailed around and people were like, yo, check this out. And we're like, yeah, hell yeah. And just started to buzz and stuff. And, you know, especially with the Gunz Show, it's not really interviews I do conversations. And that's why, like, it's always a blast whenever we have you come on the show. Obviously, I want to talk like level of concern and stuff like that. But let's get to like the human side a little bit. 2020 has been wild for sure. A scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being like you've absolutely gone crazy and lost it. Where are you put, like, at 1 being everything's fine, where are you putting yourself the last couple months? Like, have you, you know, some good days, some bad days? Where are we thinking right now, man? It's been tough, you know?
Yeah. And it's, you know, it's still going on. Still things are changing. It's, you know, and it's different state by state, kind of like you said, but yeah, it's kind of like, all right, things are open now. All right, now things are closed. And then it's just like, man, part of me just thinks that we should just spend a month and a half of like, just like deep, like, let's like hone it back in, refocus, and like not leave the house at all. And hopefully then, you know, it just kind of fixes itself. But yeah, I don't know. We've never done this before. We're all figuring it out. And so I guess I think that the toughest thing is that, like, we were going to be in Europe right now playing festivals and playing shows, and obviously that's not happening now. And when we first started, I guess this is just like a reminiscing conversation. When we first started, I was always just really excited when there was something on the calendar ahead of us and that we could look forward to. And it's just like, oh, cool. This is pushing our band forward because there's shows coming up that I can see on the schedule. And so having that this year was excited. It was, you know, it was cool. And then kind of, and I think especially like when you're overseas for a couple months, you have to kind of mentally prepare for that. And then when it just goes away, it's kind of like, whoa, what do we do? So, and not only go away, but then the whole world is just kind of in a pandemic.
Once in a lifetime figures it has to happen during our lifetime. You know what I mean? Like once a century, we get stuck in the middle of it. Like you read about it in books and you're like, oh, great. That's great that it happened when I'm 30 years old right now. You know, like awesome.
It is a crazy thing because you read about that stuff and you're just like, well, that's not going to ever apply to me, and that will never happen.
Yeah.
And so then it does, and then you got to just kind of figure it out. So, hey. So then you just, I mean, I guess you kind of do just have to take it a day at a time. Mm-hmm. And so I've been kind of, I think my mentality has kind of just been like, all right, I think there should be a balance. I think that during, you know, while we're like forced to be at home and, you know, and we can't be out working and doing what we normally would be doing.
Right.
I think that we should allow ourselves some grace to just chill and relax. Because I think, you know, a lot of our culture kind of has a mindset that's like, well, if I'm not busy and productive, then, you know, then I'm wasting my time, or I'm not, you know, you start to lose self-worth maybe. Mm-hmm. And that could be really tough mentally. And I think, you know, I feel like a lot of people are in that place where it's just like, man, I can't be doing what I feel like the thing that I, you know, that I put my worth and value in. it's just not happening. And so then you could kind of mentally deteriorate. And so I think allowing yourself some distance from that, and just being like, okay, well, this is what it is. If I take today, or if I take a few hours out of today and I'm just watching Netflix, or I'm just chilling, I'm sitting on the couch, allow yourself to do that, because there's not a whole lot else to do.
Yeah.
And then, but I think, like, for the people who are constantly looking to be productive, I think I've just kind of been looking for ways to do that, going for runs, or a bike ride, or, I play my drums every day.
Right.
I guess I'm lucky enough to have my drums here. But just little things to like, if you can, I guess I've kind of just tried to, like, put little goals for the day. And if I can, like, cross off a couple things, then I'm kind of like, okay, cool. I've like felt productive today. Maybe not as much as I normally would if the world wasn't shut down, but I can be okay with this.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, man, because, like, there are certain days where I just, like,